Sharks, the terrifying creatures of the deep, feared by man since at least the 1970s. Never before has an animal instilled so much unwarranted fear amongst the public that will almost never interact with them. To those who fear sharks, it is somewhat understandable. They are the apex predators of the oceans, and established as an iconic Hollywood monster, immortalised in movies such as Jaws or the equally good Sharknado series. One of the oldest animals in existence, coming into the world well before the arrival of trees. Fortunately for us, they exist in a world completely alien to us, unable to venture outside the confines of the oceanic world. Or can they? What if I told you that one of the biggest fears in the ocean was able to walk on land, and not in a freak mutant horror movie sort of way, but actual real life sharks walking on land? Yes, that's right. A species of shark has developed the ability to walk on land. But fear not, fellow discoverers, as this shark is utterly harmless, and I shall explain all. For in this video, we shall be taking a look at one of the most incredible sharks, with some of the most extraordinary abilities in the world, the Epaulette Shark. I'm your host David King, and let's dive in. Firstly, let's look at the basics of this animal. The Epaulette Shark is a species of long-tailed carpet sharks, a fairly small shark only growing to lengths of about 1 metre long, so even if you were to somehow get into a disagreement with it, it will only be your ankles at risk. With a light pale brown coloration covered in dark spots, and as you may have noticed, these sharks possess a large round black spot outlined in white, and this is where they get their name from, as this spot resembles military epaulettes, hence the name Epaulette Shark. These sharks inhabit the shallow reefs of Australia and New Guinea, never reaching depths of more than 40 metres. They scour these reefs for small prey items such as crabs, shrimp or bony fish. So now we know the very basics of the Epaulette Shark, let's look at what makes them so extraordinary and how they can walk on land. Sharks in general have some amazing adaptations. As some of you may know, they can detect electrical pulses from other animals, using sensory organs called ampullae of Lorenzini. But the Epaulette Shark has two major adaptations that, for me, make it one of the most incredible shark species ever. The first of which is that this shark has the ability to walk. Whilst being able to swim quite confidently, Epaulette sharks spend most of the time walking along the shallow reefs, looking for food. To achieve this, Epaulette sharks, like all sharks, have cartilage supports in their fins. However, unlike other sharks, these supports are shortened and separated, allowing them to have full mobility of their fins, like that of limbs. Thanks to this adaptation, not only can the Epaulette sharks walk along the shallow reefs foraging for food, it also allows them to walk across the land, to cross between the shallow reefs and tidal ponds, when they become isolated due to the tidal shifts. Now the second adaptation Epaulette sharks have is potentially more remarkable and unique. This is the ability of hypoxia tolerance, or in more simple terms, the ability to survive in low oxygen environments. Now this ability is key to the survival of the Epaulette shark. At night, due to tidal shifts, some of these shallow reefs can become isolated from the ocean, and then throughout the night, the oxygen in these shallow pools can drop by up to 80% or more, due to other animals and organisms using the limited oxygen supply of the pool. The Epaulette shark can thrive in low oxygen environments, which could be fatal to most other animals. To achieve this, they lower their heart rate and ventilation rates dramatically to reduce oxygen usage. As well as this, they can lower their blood pressure by half, as blood vessels dilate to increase blood flow to the heart and brain. These are already incredible biological mechanisms to help thrive in a low oxygen environment, but the Epaulette shark isn't done here. And what astounds me the most is the fact that these sharks can lower the metabolism of specific areas of the brain. For instance, if they are stationary, they will lower the part of the brain involved with movement, whilst keeping the sensory parts active, allowing the shark to stay aware of its surroundings and potential predators, without wasting oxygen on non-essential parts of the brain that aren't needed in that moment. And with all these biological mechanisms combined, the Epaulette shark is one of the best animals in the world at thriving in low oxygen environments. In fact, the Epaulette shark is so well adapted to combat hypoxia that it can survive over 3 hours in oxygen levels just 5% of the normal atmospheric levels. And in laboratory settings, it was found that Epaulette sharks can survive an astounding 1 hour with zero oxygen. And what's even more special about this is that they can achieve these lengths of time in warm water. Almost all other animals that have adapted hypoxia tolerance can only do so in cold environments, whereas the Epaulette shark can achieve these results in warm waters up to 30 degrees. Both a hypoxia tolerance and a strong mobile pectoral limbs work in tandem for the epaulette shark to be able to walk, although very slowly, across land. Unfortunately, as many of you are aware, there is a large portion of shark species under threat of extinction, with some of the most well-known species such as the great hammerhead seeing population declines of more than 90% since the 70s. Fortunately for us, in this case, the epaulette shark has not seen a dramatic decline in population and is actually ranked of least concern in Australia by the IUCN. This is due to a few reasons. In Australia, these sharks inhabit areas that are protected marine parks, meaning they are not affected by habitat destruction or overfishing. The news is slightly less good for those in New Guinea, with habitat degradation and with over-exploitation with fishing have lowered the populations in this area slightly. However, so we don't end on a sour note, another good thing about epaulette sharks is their reproductivity. In the wild, these sharks are oviparous, meaning they lay eggs which hatch, like birds. These eggs are laid in pairs, anchored to the reef floors. Over the course of a mating season, a female can lay up to 50 eggs. After 120 to 130 days, these eggs hatch. These hatchlings are already able to hunt down small prey items and walk along the ocean floor. Epaulette sharks have also had high success rates in captivity, unlike many other shark species which do not thrive in captivity. Epaulette sharks, however, show very little fear towards humans, both in captivity and in the wild. All of these unique traits of the epaulette shark, coupled with the fact that they have the grace of being cute, which unfortunately is becoming a more necessary trait to have to lower the risk of harm from humans, has led epaulette sharks to become a favourite amongst marine lovers and beachgoers, and hopefully this means that these wonderful sharks will be viewed by generations to come. And that brings an optimistic and hopeful end to this video. I hope you've enjoyed learning about one of the most unique and incredible sharks around. Remember to keep learning and discovering. Until next time, goodbye.